What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Shooting the Breeze with your boy, ItzJustJP. Before getting into my special guest today, I want to just go ahead and say something. Thank y'all so much for the prayers, and thank you so much for the love. Dealing with the loss of a dog is not really easy. That was my very first dog that I had, and losing him at 2 years old was just very unfortunate. It just came out of nowhere, and it's kind of, threw me off my routine and stuff. So I appreciate everybody's concern, appreciate everybody's prayers, and appreciate the love for my dog. And, naming him Kobe, named after Kobe Bryant, well, rest in peace to him, man. I missed him still. But I got a special guest today. When I read his resume, it's just incredible. 10-year NBA veteran, three-point sniper, first rookie and first Warrior to lead the NBA in three-point percentage, still holds the NBA record for most points scored in NBA Summer League history, top 20 all-time in NBA history in three-point percentage, three-time All-State performer in North Carolina, 2 state championships at Charlotte Latin High School, Mr. Basketball in the state of North Carolina, Hall of Famer at Charlotte Latin High School, one of the best to come out of Georgia Tech, 258 three-point field goals, third in Georgia Tech history, 16th in ACC history, 19th all-time scoring list in Georgia Tech history with 1,400 points, founder of the Anthony Morrow Charities and the AG Sports Entertainment. My guest is Mr. Anthony Morrow. Anthony, how you doing, man?
Blessed, man. Hey, that's the best introduction I've had in my life, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you. My mama gonna love that because she watch all the shows. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it, man. Good to be here with you, bro.
Hey. I got to do a special intro for you, because, I watch you at Georgia Tech, watch you in the NBA. So, hey, anytime somebody comes along, man, I got to get that special introduction, man, because, you deserve it, because, look, that resume speaks for itself. It's like, there's no way I could do it, So.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it.
Man, no problem, man. No problem. How's life treating you these days, man?
Well, man, just working. Spring break just kind of wrapping up a little bit. This is the last week of it, so kids, man, running wild, man. Had a good one down in Atlanta. Took the kids to the Hawks game. Caught the Hawks Knicks game, was good. While we were in Atlanta, went to College Football Hall of Fame. Took the boys. Spent time with my daughter. She lives down in Atlanta. My sons are here with me, with the family, and so man, we had a blast, man. Just a lot of family time, just reflection time, and just, we make it a celebration for them, so it was all good, man. I tried to get the most out of their spring break as I could, but, when it's them, it's all about them, man. School back Monday, though, so we back to work.
I want to start off, going back to when you was a kid, born in Charlotte, North Carolina. When did the game of basketball, when did you start falling in love with the game, and who was your influences growing up to make you want to be a basketball player?
I'd say, I've been playing basketball under a whistle, so I was 4 years old, official basketball. My uncle had a team, 5 and 6 year olds. I was 4, and my mom basically made them put me on the team because I was just running around. It was no really preschool U teams back then. But really, man, I always give my cousin, man, Morrow. He really put the basketball in he showed me how to shoot. I always followed him and my other cousins around. We all from the same neighborhood, Little Rock Apartments, West Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina. And going to the parks and the recs, just following them around, man, it's something that we did every day. That's what they did every day. And just since a little jit, man, I just run around behind them and really start picking up on stuff kind of fast. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do since I was a kid. I wasn't thinking about the NBA. I was just something that I felt like I could, one of those sports where you can go play by yourself. You don't need other people. So I'm walking around with a basketball since I was 5 years old, up until college, basically, So, it was just a passion, man. It's a blessing to have something for me that I could, it's a vehicle. I got a chance to go all around the world, it was bigger than just putting a basketball in the basketball hoop. So, education, so I mean, I got a chance to be in some rooms and be around some people and still have great people around me through that vehicle, which is a basketball, man. So, it's a blessing just to find that passion that early and be able to follow through. It ain't easy. It ain't perfect by any means, but it's just, it showed me that, the work you put into that, you'll definitely reap the benefits in the future. And being around and going through everything now in business and everything, it's the same mindset. So it was a teaching tool for me for sure. That, I hung my hat on it, but not just in a basketball sense, in a life sense. And that's why I teach my kids, the kids on my AU program, the kids that I train, all the athletes, student athletes around I get to speak to and interact with on and off the court. I kind of give them that same message.
When did you start working on your 3-point shot, and when would you a student of the game in terms of the 3-point shot?
I felt people ask me that. I really probably around, because when you play, you think you're good at everything when you're little, and you find out the hard way when you run up against a real competition. Yeah. Probably I knew I could shoot better than some of my peers. Probably when I was around about 13. 13 was when I really knew. We had an AAU tournament, and I can't forget this. Shout out to my coaches back then, Coach CJ, Coach Kerry Sargent, Coach Macy, all the guys, Charlotte Nets. Shout out to the Charlotte Nets.
Oh yeah,
I was a player for them for a little bit, but I was 13. I remember we was in Asheville, North Carolina. I think my mom had to remind me of this because she watched some of my shows, my stuff. She's like, you don't remember that time? Stuff like that. I don't even be remembering. I had 65. I hit 13 threes. And after that game, we would head back to Charlotte. And it was she was like, nah, you can shoot. You know what I'm saying? My mom not a huge she a basketball fan, but she's not an analytics mom. She was like, nah, you shoot better than, you need to keep working on that. And that's when I kind of started taking it more serious, you know what I'm saying? And then when I got to high school, when I got to Charlotte Latin, shout out to I call him my second pops, my head coach in high school, Jerry Faulkner, legendary. I really learned how to work on my game, skill wise, because I would hoop every day. But to actually learn how to work on your game, Coach Tony Fullwood too, assistant coach, him as well, really started getting in the gym and start working on basic skills. But I wasn't till I was 14, 15, learning how to do that, off the court. I just go hoop by myself, but to actually learn how to do drills, footwork, learn how to you start doing little push-ups and crutches, start to take care of your body, It started early, man, but it's crazy because now my sons, my youngest, they're 9 years old, my twins, and they doing that stuff now. My son's 13. He doing stuff I wasn't even thinking about doing at 13. And they all hoop, but it's just, they kind of ahead of the curve. A lot of these kids are, don't get me wrong. It's so much talent right now with skill level. And people would think that I learned early at 14. Now they doing the same stuff 5, 6 years old that we learned how to do at 15, 16 years old. So
yeah,
it's just the evolution of the game, man,
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that. You had a legendary career at Charlotte Latin High School. Like I mentioned, 3-time All-State, 2 state championships your junior and your senior year, 27-4 record your senior year, average almost a double-double, both your junior and senior year. What was that moment for you that in high school that you realized that you was one of the best in the state?
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie. I felt like I had to prove myself, man. Because back then, cause I reclassed. I went to South Mecklenburg High School as a freshman, and I should have been in the 8th grade my freshman year. My first year at public school at South Meck. So when I went to Latin, they was really letting people reclass. So I reclassed, and I was in my normal grade, which was great because that school is very tough curriculum wise. Great school, and I got a fresh start as a freshman to, build my high school career. And I mean, it was great, man. It was a journey because I had to go through the academic side first. My mom was like, "You got to stay in school, so your study habits have to change." And I kind of grew up. I was like a college student in high school. I felt like, then it really prepared me for the next level. But yeah, probably like my freshman year, I didn't play much. My coach was really like big on seniority, so we had juniors and seniors, really good players. Older guys. Still keep in touch with a lot of those guys. And they all left. So my sophomore year, that summer going into my sophomore year, I really just like understood, everything I had learned that year in terms of fundamentals. And then I was used to the curriculum. I had like better study habits and everything like that. So I was more prepared and with time management, and that really, like, stuff like that is really what changed. It wasn't just basketball, it was stuff outside of it that helped me structure myself at that age. And I grew like 2 or 3 inches. So I went from like maybe 6 feet, 6'1", I went to like 6'3" and a half, 6'4", sophomore year. And then, at that time I was working on guard skills, but I had to play center. You know what I'm saying? So once I realized it was a matchup problem, I was like, all right, I can figure this out. But then, you're on the radar now, they figuring out. So it was just really just being a student of the game, man. Like I would stay up late, watch games when I wasn't supposed to. Cause I'm like, like I always tell people, like, I'm not comparing myself, but at all. But Carmelo Anthony is like, even though we close in age, like Carmelo grew up faster because he could have went out of high school if he wanted to. Yeah. He's a couple years older than me, but watching him at Syracuse when I was like a junior in high school, I was like, I want to work. I want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? We all got guys like that, So it was like just, watching a lot of college basketball. I watched more college than in NBA, and it was just. It was just basically part of the journey of falling in love with actually getting better. I go outside. We didn't have a goal at the house. I had to go next door because they had a basketball goal, but they never used it. They come over here anytime you want. So I go over there at 2 o'clock in the morning, just shoot around, work on stuff I saw, so yeah, that's when I kind of started really, it just enhanced my love to get better, bro. It wasn't even about playing good in the games. It was just like, I want to do that move like that. Like, it got a little bit more precise in terms of the kind of player I wanted to turn myself into.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that whole world got you with 2 state championships, your junior and your senior year. What was that feeling like winning the state championship your first time and being able to go back to back?
Man, we should have won 3 state championships. I should have won my sophomore year. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, man. I always think, every time somebody asks me about that, I'm like, yeah, we weren't ready my sophomore year because we were all young. But it was great. I always tell people this. It's kind of funny, but it's real. I remember, when you keep winning the state championship, you ain't got to go to school. We were in like Raleigh. I think we were at a school called Cardinal Gibbons, great school. They were really good back then too. They hosted the state championship my junior year, and I was like, man, this first game, we got to come out. Like, I'm like, I don't want to go all the way back to school if we lose today. So that's what pushed me. And I remember, like, we started off slow, and then, I don't know, I caught fire in the second half. And then, we kind of just rolled that momentum. That was a good feeling to win the state. And then our senior year, everybody was kind of seasoned. We had a couple transfers come in. And we ended up, I think we won it. We was at Ravenscroft, and my little cousin, actually, David Truesdale, my little cousin, he went to Parkwood. He came over to Charlotte Latin. He ended up, I told him, I said, you got player of the game. It was double, triple teaming me. He ended up having like 30. He was a sophomore. So I tell him to this day, I'm still proud of him, man. But, high school was great, man. It was, it's nothing. I tell the kids now, my little cousins at West Charlotte now, called Art Coleman. And any chance I get, I tell them, man, enjoy this, bro. It's never going to be nothing like this. They just want to stay, you know what I mean? So just enjoy that high school journey, man. It's nothing like that feeling. And it's the same thing in college, same thing on the next level, So I tell them, just enjoy the moment, get better every day, keep improving. Live in the moment. Work hard every day. Live in the moment, man. It don't last forever, you know.
No, I agree with you. That's a lot of, I tell people all the time, it's like, instead of just thinking towards the future or thinking about the past, just enjoy the present, enjoy the moment that you're in right now. Because, when you don't enjoy the moment, then you're going to kind of have regrets later on, be like, dang, I should have just enjoyed the moment right here. Yeah. And speaking of which, years later, you got inducted into the Hall of Fame at Charlotte Latin High School. How did it feel? When did you get that call? And how did you feel about becoming a Hall of Famer?
That was cool, man. Because, the journey to even get there. I remember my first day at Latin. I came home after the first day. I was like, I can't do this, man. It's like bro, I'm talking about, it was like a culture shock to me. Like, yeah. Well, if you know people that's watching or will watch, where I'm from in Charlotte is like, I'm from West Boulevard. And it's, you go from one spectrum to the entire other side of the spectrum going to school every day. We in the projects that I'm going to school, you got sophomores pulling up in Range Rovers and G-Wags and Benzes and Bentley. And I'm like, damn. Like, what I need to do to get there?
Yeah, right.
Not understanding at 14, 15 years old, but it was cool. And then, but one thing I say, like my classmates and, shout out to Miss Clown, my English teacher, of course, my head coach, I told you, Jerry Farno, Donnie Fullwood, Coach Dale Simonton. Like, it was a lot of people that kept me grounded. I could, and then my teammates, I knew a lot of them since AAU days, a few of those guys, and it made me feel really comfortable. It was an easier transition than I thought it would be, but it was just it was definitely a process to get through that mentally. But no, it was great, to think about those days. Coach coming to pick me up from the West Side, taking me back to Latin, to work out 2-3 days a week, not playing AAU, just work on your game for a summer, and building those relationships with the professors and the administrative officers and everything like that at the time. So, when they called me and told me, you're going in the Hall of Fame with my head coach that, embraced me, Coach Faulkner, it was a real emotional time, and then, my family was there, and my agent at the time, he pulled up from Atlanta. I didn't know he was pulling up. Not really even having a speech, man, just speaking from the heart, up there and seeing my name on the side of a building like that from where we come from, man. It's my last name, so like for me, it's like this is a legacy thing for me to be a part of such a prestigious group of people, from there. With me not being from that, so my kids can go up there and say, hey, my daddy right there, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I like stuff like that, man. But it was a special moment. Learned a lot. It helped me, like I said, it helped me mature faster than I probably would have if I wasn't in that element and didn't take on that challenge, and my mama didn't take the chance. We don't know if we'd be, in a position or sitting where we at now. So, we're going to make more memories, man. But that was definitely one of the most special times in my life.
Man, for sure, man. Congratulations to you as well. Was there like any college that you were so close of going to, and why did you decide to go to Georgia Tech? Because I know when we spoke before this interview, there was this one particular college you told me that you were so close of going to, and I'm just going to let you say it, okay? Because I'm like...
Yeah, I forgot I told you that. Nah, I verbally, actually, like, the only school I ever wanted to go to was Chapel Hill. We had a few of my older homies growing up, Jeff McGinnis, Brennan Haywood, all the guys that went to Chapel Hill that were from North Carolina, Antoine Jameson's from Charlotte, those the guys I was around, growing up. And that's the only school I wanted to go to. And they would recruit me my sophomore year. Like towards the end of my sophomore year, they was coming to all the games. So I look up and I see Carolina blue, 3 button-ups. I know they up there watching. I got to go for it. So I always made sure I got rest that night before, coach was like, he started noticing. I told coach, I said, look, I'm a sophomore. I said, if Carolina, because I was getting offers then, but it was like, it was more that year. Towards the end, I was getting like ACC offers, but most of that from the beginning, it was like mid-majors and low D1s, So I was like, I don't want to call them low D1s. They're great schools. Like, it was great schools. But at the same time, I knew where I wanted to go. And I knew I could play. And, then they had a coaching change. And J.R. Smith committed when Roy Williams went over there. And J.R., we knew he was going to the league out of high school when we were kids, because it just is what it is. And then he had to go commit to Carolina. They didn't have any more scholarships. So I was like, damn, that was kind of a bummer right there, because they were like, we still want you. Can you walk on? I'm like, nah, I ain't do all this to walk on nowhere. No disrespect. But I knew I was going to play in ACC. So then after that, later, it was Wake Forest was in the mix and NC State. And I actually verbally committed to NC State on the low. I didn't announce it. I told my coaches. And my head coach was like, nah, we're going to wait. You still got 2 more visits left, like official visits. This is going in my junior year. So Carolina was out the mix at that point. NC State was there. They did some weird stuff. I ain't even going. It was weird. They took the scholarship. They resented it. Then they put it back on the table. At the end of the day, I was like, nah, get them out of here. I can't trust them already.
Yeah.
And then, I went on my last visit to Georgia. My 4 visits was, I don't know how it is now, but we had like 4 official visits. Whereas so it was like Tennessee, UNC, Charlotte, NC State, and Georgia Tech. And my last visit was Georgia Tech. And, it was just, my mom loved it. It was still in proximity 3 hours. So that's like going to Durham. It was like still around. It was just in another state. It was in Georgia. And, in terms of what I wanted to potentially major in at the time, mom still close, family still close. I got to experience Atlanta for the first time outside of like being a little kid going to visit my aunts and uncles, and it was cool. And they had just came off the championship run. And it was, they had built a great program. Coach Hewitt, shout out to Coach Hewitt and all the staff over there, coaching staff, and I just felt like it was far enough away for me to experience something outside of North Carolina, which I never really had at that time, other than like Nike camps and stuff like that. But it was, close enough for me to get home for anything, and it was just I had a great visit, and they did a good job, man. I committed before I left Georgia. It was on the way back to Charlotte. I'm like, I'm going. We had Jerry Jack over there, BJL, the Ishmael Muhammad, Will Bynum, all the guys that I still keep in touch with to this day. They were tough on us, man, as freshmen, but I mean, they understood it, man. Them boys was crazy, but they were great guys, man. They really understood. I was on a mission, but it helped me. Like everybody, you didn't think about it? I'm like, nah, bro. Like I needed all 4 years. I needed that. It was a different time. It was development, and I needed all of it on and off the court. So,
is it true too, as well, that you went into a special type of program to get yourself bigger, stronger, to be able to improve from your freshman year to your sophomore year at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I mean, they put you on a weightlifting program. It was a college program. That was the real question, is how I adjusted from high school to college.
Yeah.
In terms of lifting weights and all that, and plyometrics and everything like that. It's different now than it was then, but that transition was different. But I mean, it really helped me understand the importance of being able to, you don't get the same nutrition in high school that you go get in college, first of all. So yeah. You eat differently, your schedule is different. So that adjustment was different. It's not like you could do anything on your own time. You got to be in the gym at this time. You got to put in this amount of work. You got to get these reps in. And that helped me mentally, because I felt like eventually I felt like I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I got to take this to another level for me, you know. And that's the biggest thing I learned being around those older guys and the importance of being able to come around guys that's been around, you know, in that system and in that element for 3-4 years. That's something that the older I've gotten, the more especially now in this climate with the one and done NIL deal, transfer portals and all that stuff, we didn't have that. So you had to just, you know, stick to it unless you want to leave and sit out a whole year, which you don't have to do now. And I didn't think about leaving, but at the same time, it was like, same thing when I went to high school. I was like, all these guys are older, they leaving or they going to the league. It's just going to be us. So I didn't want to rest my laurels on, okay, they have to play me anyway, because they recruiting over you now. It's high school. So you got to outwork everybody, you know, outwork. It's just you versus you every day. And once I figured that out, I felt like I had like a structure, like a template that I could always build upon. I could always build on it, you know, and that's how, you know, I made sure that I was kind of always ahead of the curve, because somebody's going to be competing every day. So you got to be willing to sacrifice and work harder than you think you work that day, you know, because it's you versus you at that point. So that's what kind of pushed me from my freshman year on. So I like appreciated those guys I got to compete against that was NBA, you know, NBA caliber, if they didn't make the NBA, overseas legends. Like I got to play against those guys that went to the national championship, played against the best of the best, and then moved on and furthered their careers. These guys grown men, you know. So I'm like, if I can compete against them, I can compete against anybody. That was my mentality, you know. And that's basically what it is. It built the mental toughness to, you know, you had to be a dog in the ACC back then, bro. It was no days off. It was no days off, bro. JJ Redick, Chris Paul, Justin Gray, John Gilchrist. I don't want to miss nobody. Rashad McKinnis, Ray Felton, Sean May. It was a Julius Hodge, Jack McClain. Shout out to my boy Jack in Miami. Boys at Virginia Tech. Like it was everywhere, you know. So it was definitely motivating, man. And then a couple of them schools passed on me in the ACC. So it was never ending motivation, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was fun though. That's like that was definitely the greatest 4 years of my life, for real.
You appeared in 123 games, made at least one 3-point basket in 41 straight games to close out your career. Longest active streak in the ACC, being 19th all-time scoring list with 1,400 points, 258 3-point field goals, third in Georgia Tech history, 16th in ACC history, 42% from the 3-point line. When you hear those stats like that, what you did at Georgia Tech, like what's your reaction to hearing those stats?
You got to text me some of that, bro. Some of that I didn't even know. So you might have to text me some. I
did research, man.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. But some of that I didn't know, I swear to God. But nah, man, I mean, it's a testament, man. You know, just, you know, I got some stories, man. Like we had the travel bus that used to take us around campus, because Georgia Tech is a huge campus.
Yes.
Called the Stinger. They still have it. Matter of fact, I just took my boys on a tour when we just left Atlanta this past weekend. And I used to take the Stinger. This is after workouts, after class, after practice. I would go later in the day, finish studying or whatever. Go work out on my own at we call it the freshman gym now. I don't know what they call it now, but it's like the old gym we used to practice. Mm-hmm. And it's still there. But I go in there and like I'll be in there from like maybe 10 to like midnight, couple hours, just getting some work in, shooting, doing some whether it was conditioning, whatever it was. And like the Stinger stops running at like 8 p.m. Back then it was like 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that. Can't exactly remember, but if it's like midnight, they're not running. So I used to have to call like the campus police, like, can y'all come pick me up and take me to my dorm? And then it got to the point where they just knew when I called, because it's like a little phone in the gym, like the little old phone.
Yep.
Yeah. To the point where it was like, this Amo. Yeah, it's me. All right, we on the way. Like that. You know what I'm saying? And they cool. You want to stop by McDonald's? Yeah, let's stop by McDonald's. McDonald's right there on the north side, right there. Go, and then take me back to my dorm. But they're like, we don't mind, man. We, there ain't no problems on campus for real at that time. And so they're like, man, we know it's you. And then, it was around that. So I'm like, I appreciate the good people up at Tech for that, man. But, that was just part of the journey, man. And some of the guys, like when I got to Golden State, they just calling or hit me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever back then it was, Instagram. Man, I remember we was leaving the club. You was walking back to the dorm from the gym. 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, I ain't doing nothing else, man. I gotta stay in shape, bro. But man, yeah, shout out to my, he know who he is, my man Morrow, Little Red at Morrow, the engineer major, it's my guys, man. But yeah, man, it's some good times, man. This is that kind of commitment, man. We party now, don't get me wrong, we had fun. It's Atlanta. We had to make sure you put that work in first, though.
You got to. Calvin Johnson was there at Georgia Tech that same time, correct?
Yeah, we same year.
Same year? Yeah. Yeah. Any good Calvin Johnson stories from Georgia Tech?
I remember one time. Well, okay, we had first day of class our freshman year. We had the same first class first day. I think it was a film class, if I'm not mistaken. It was like 8:00 in the morning. So I'm sitting there and he walked in the room and I looked, because Calvin's I'm 6'6", he 6'5", 6'6". So I'm thinking, and he looked like a basketball player. So I'm looking around, tap one, I'm like, yo, God, somebody else. I think one of my teammates was in the class, so I'm like, yo, we got somebody else. Who is that? He was like, nah, I think he was from Georgia. Calvin from Georgia. He was like, nah, he a wide receiver. He number one wide receiver in the nation, out of high school. You play football? He was like, yeah. It's like, nah, you gonna see. I was like, nah. So he sit down. We always cordial, chop it up, and then football season is before. So first 3 games, I see him. So I'm like, bro could have went out of high school. He was on some other stuff, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I remember our quarterback, Reggie Ball, shout out to Reggie, man. He was one of them scrambling quarterbacks, fast. He was short though, you know what I'm saying? So I'm bro, anytime, throw to him every time. If you can't see over the line, throw the cow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to get it. Triple coverage, anything. And I remember we were playing in the summertime. If summertime, we go to summer school to build up our credits so you can graduate faster or whatever. And we'll play at the campus rec center against the other guys, and we just want to get some run. And I remember he walked in, he had a book bag on, and it was books in the book bag, and he had on regular clothes, jeans. I don't think his shoes was tied. He had on he was going to class. He walked in, he grabbed the ball, he was talking to a couple guys or something, just walked up, vertical windmill with the book bag on. I looked, I was like, what's up with him, man? He did Megatron shit. It's really you know what I'm saying? I said, man, what's up with you? And then later that year, we got super cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's still the same. I saw him probably about 3 or 4 years ago about 4 or 5, actually about 4 years ago at homecoming. So he had been retired. I was trying, so now everybody got time to go to homecoming. I saw him and I was it was just cool to see him the same, but just retired and relaxed. Cause Calvin was always a serious, walk around campus. He always looked serious. You know what I'm saying? He was cool if you knew him, but he always looked serious. But to see him in dad mode, you know what I'm saying? He got the dad bod a little bit now, he partying and just having fun, man. But it was cool to reconnect. But nah, Calvin was a real dude, man. But he was a machine for real, man. Saw it firsthand.
watched some of his games at Georgia Tech, and I'm just like, this dude was just insane. And
he played CJ, my guy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Going into the draft, I know you went undrafted. Did you work out for like a couple NBA teams?
Yeah, I only had like 3 workouts. I worked out for the Mavericks, the Lakers, and the Warriors. Yeah. And I think my best workout was with the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah, because I like that triangle offense. I really wanted to sign with the Lakers. Tex Winters was in there, rest in peace to the OG.
Oh, yeah.
And they put us through concepts. And I was like, damn, I'm open every time. So I'm like, I'm cool. I'm thinking about Kobe over there with Pau Gasol. I'm on the other side, coming off screens. I'm like, you open every time. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, because I like that. I mean, now it's not, because they switch everything now, but back then they wasn't switching. So that shit was hard to guard with somebody like Kobe and a skilled big like Pau Gasol over there. And then you got 2 shooters and a big man on the other side. It was impossible to guard that back then.
Yeah.
Kobe, of course, you gotta have a Kobe or something. But it was cool because it's more reads. So like the higher your IQ, the more you're gonna stay on the floor offensively in that. And I was like, it's perfect. I called my agent, man, I want to sign with the Lakers. He's like, hey, man, we got to go through the draft process. We don't know where it's going to end up. But, he was like, hey, please, did well, because I was open every time. I'm like, if you could just read me getting layups or threes, you know what I'm saying? And that was then, though. Now, they switch all the screens and stuff, so it's kind of null and void a little bit. But, Golden State was I like the freedom. Shout out to Don Nelson, Rico, Steve, Silas, and Cindy Moncrief, and Keith Smart. They all had faith in me moving forward in summer league, and that was probably the most intense fun and intense summer of my life. Going into that training camp, summer league, and all that.
When you went undrafted, did it create like another motivation for you to like really prove yourself to that you are worth being in the NBA?
Yeah, it was like a fresh start. Because in college you only get to play against who you get to play against.
Yeah.
And even though we were in the ACC, it wasn't like the Big East at the time. Yeah, so it was more like you had to be Carolina or Duke, maybe Wake Forest. We weren't really on the map when those guys left. We made the tournament. We had Javaris Crinton, shout out to my guy.
Oh yeah.
And Thaddeus Young. Mm-hmm. And then all my guys that we came in with, Jeremy Smith, Rashawn Dickey, Zan Frederick. We didn't make the splash that we had to come after. We had to be after those guys that went to the chip. And so it was just, I knew I was, when it was inevitable underdog mentality, which I'm cool with. I was cool with it. So it was just like, when I got the opportunity to be on a different stage in a different NBA setting, it was more space. I could really kind of show that it was like, okay, I can shoot, but I can score. I can get to where I need to get to IQ-wise and skill-wise. I felt like I was a little more able to open that up. And Don Nelson completely unlocked that. He was like, show everything you can do. I know you can shoot, but let me see everything you can do. You got space, opportunity. He wasn't really... Only reason he only took me out of the game if I didn't shoot a shot he thought I was open. Or if I'm in the corner and if you in the corner, you close to out of bounds. If you out of bounds on the catch and shoot, he taking me out, and he'll find you for that. Well, he used to find me. I don't know about it. He $500 for that, bro.
Really? That sounds like Don Nelson. That does sound like him.
Don Nelson changed my life. That's my guy, man. To this day, shout out to Coach Don Nelson, man, for real.
Like you said, you ended up in Golden State, but before you went to Golden State, Golden State gave you that call. Was it also true that you was about to sign to some country for like $80,000?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Thank you. I could not pronounce it. I could not pronounce it.
Man, you did your due diligence, bro.
We such, man.
Tomorrow. You could be on ESPN in a couple weeks or some shit. Yeah, I did. I signed to go to Ukraine. Man. And it was for like 80,000. And then how I went to Miami. I played in a summer league, and I wasn't going to probably play a lot, so I was cool with the 80,000. At the time, my daughter's mother was pregnant, and with my daughter at the time, and I was like, man, I just gotta figure something out. You know, I gotta go somewhere. Like, you know anything about the Ukraine? I'm like, no, but I'm going. We all going. You know what I'm saying? We gonna figure it out. And they was all down with it. You sure? Yes, we going. We gonna figure it out. It's gonna be okay. And then I went and played well. It was unfortunate for my bro. Well, I always shout out Daquan Cook. He was the showcase guy. He already was on a recontract with Miami that was showcasing him. He ended up separating his shoulder. He bounced back and everything, but he was out for so they had to play me. Because they were trying to play 2 point guards because they didn't really know what I could do. And then the last 3 games, I probably averaged like 17. And that was Mario Chalmers and Mike Beasley. They had just got drafted that year. Mike was the number 2 pick. Mario had just won the championship, And, I just found chemistry with them. And by that time, I had to go to Vegas to play with Golden State. And at this time, I'm like, I'm ready to go home, bro. After Miami, I'm like, okay, Ukraine is like, we don't want him to go to summer camp with Miami because they was going to invite me to summer camp. So they raised the price to like, not the price, they raised the salary to like 110,000 or something like that. And I was like, man, I'm good with that. He was like, nah, you got to go see what Golden State talking about. Went over there. They had their showcase guys that were playing. My guy CJ Watson, Marco Bellinelli, and them. So I didn't play till like the last 3 games again. And so probably went from like no playing time to like 6 points, 8 points, 11 points, 17, 22, 22. Because those guys sit down after a while. So I was like, oh shit, okay, well, they raised it to 130. I'm like, all right, can I go back to Atlanta? Because she's really tripping right now. She's pregnant. And he was like, nah, you gotta go to Utah. I'm like, what is in Utah? I love Utah, honestly. But at the time, I'm like, where are we going? I didn't even know it was a summer league. I didn't even know they had a summer league in Utah. Leaving Vegas. And I'm like, he like, bro, I know. I'm like, no, man, you don't know. He like, I do know, but you gotta go. You gonna be the feature guy now. You gonna start. They want to see everything. Long story short, I ended up getting MVP of the Utah Summer League. And then they came, knocked on the door. Shout out my guy Marlon over there, player personnel at the time, Golden State Warriors. On the phone, my agent, shout out to him at the time, called me. Said, you're going to learn how to read a contract today.
Oh, wow.
Go downstairs, conference room in the Grand American Hotel, I'll never forget. And signed off on it, read the whole contract. First time I was like, God damn, that's like a world history class in one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Cool, though. It was cool. You know what I mean? And it was cool. And then it was off to training camp. So I had a $10,000 advance from Ukraine, had to get it back. I was like, damn. It was like, you'll be all right. So, I was all right, cool. So we, training camp starts. And then, right after that, immediately I probably went home. I went to Atlanta and then went to Charlotte. And then I was right back out there in Oakland to get ready to start for training camp. And I was looking for anywhere in Oakland to hoop. Anywhere. Until all the guys came before training camp. And I was working out with Phil Handy. Shout out to Phil.
Oh, yeah.
And my guy, OG. He had all the runs out. I can't even, Alameda or something, like way up in the hills. I remember because Damian Lillard was really young then, Jared Cunningham. all the guys, and we was, we was getting to it, man. Came in there with my man Anthony Randolph, and we was just getting to it, and then training camp, I still had to make the team, and I remember a crazy story. I was like, we was doing all these, it was practice, it was everything, and I had to make it through all that. And I remember like the final day before cuts, I was at the scorer's table. It was like the blue versus white game in front of the fans at the Oracle in Golden State. Mm-hmm. And I was at the scorer's table. Shout out to big homie Stack 5, Steven Jackson. And I'm worried, sick the last 2-3 days. I can't sleep. I'm like, man, I can't go home. I don't want to go to Ukraine for real, bro. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like. I know my agent already got something set up just in case, but I'm not thinking like that at the time. We at the scorer's table checking in. I'm going hard in the blue-white game. I'm like trying to score 40. And I'm at the scorer's table, and Jack is in front of you take a knee so the media can see.
Yeah.
Sit down on one knee, Stack in front of me. I'm like, hey, Stack. I say, big homie, don't let him cut me, man. Like, for real. He was like, what? I said, man, don't let him cut me, man. Like, I'm you know what I mean? I done put the work. He was like, what? You already on the team. They already said that yesterday. You good. Don't even worry about that. You gonna let me, like, damn near have a panic attack all this time? You could have told me that. I've been with you all week, bro. He's like, what you talking about? You already on the team. Last week, I'm over here, damn near, I can't sleep, eat. I'm in Oakland, bro. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I go back to North Carolina.
He just made it, just playing this up. Yeah, you made the team.
Nah, man, that kept me humble, though. He was like, man, we all knew. So, like, afterwards, I felt a sigh of relief. But I still was kind of like, I see. But I slept better that night. So we wake up, go to practice, and like, we work out before, we shoot around. Coach bring everybody in before practice. And it was between me and my man, Rob Kurtz. He went to Notre Dame, and he played his ass off too, man. And he had a great career overseas. I need to reach out to my man, Rob. I think they were stacked at like the power forward position. And, I just, Don brought everybody in and was like, yeah, we got a new rookie. And I ain't see Rob that day, so I guess they let him go before. And they threw all the water on me and shit. I was like, man, it's a sigh of relief. But with them it's like a second round contract, so you still got to play your ass off and work your ass off until the next deadline, which is like kind of, I think, around at that time, I don't know, around like All-Star or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I was on it was a journey, bro. But that's me though. That's my life. I would rather not have it any other way, bro. It worked out how it was supposed to.
By the way, that year too, like you wasn't really like playing a lot until until injuries kind of like came, and then you was able to play your very first game against the Los Angeles Clippers, where you ended up with 37 points and 11 rebounds. Before getting into that game against the Clippers, was you kind of like frustrated that you wasn't getting like a lot of playing time during that time?
Hell no, bro. I was not, honest to God, I was not frustrated, bro. To be able to wake up and have a key fob to get in the gym anytime I wanted to, that's all. I was like, compete against them guys, bro. It was the same mentality I had when I got to Georgia Tech against the guys. I'm like, if I can play against, I had to guard Corey Maggette in his prime, Steven Jackson in his prime, Jamal Crawford, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was Monte Ellis. Monte was he was that good. I don't think he was like in the beginning of his prime at the time. Yeah. Monte was like a superstar. So like sometimes Al Harrington, who was in his prime, like it was, I was like, man, I just got to be able to compete with these dudes, man, and like I'm gonna just get better and learn from them. I ain't have no agenda. I'm just like, look, bro, I got my foot in the door. I'm kicking it open. I'm just gonna compete, be the best teammate, and just show people who I really am. And once I felt like they embraced it, Stack was my big homie still to this day. He always, Corey Maggette, Al, I just saw Al out there, shout out to people out there, pro out there in the community. Same thing, man, like just embracing the moment. And it was just day by day, brick by brick. Like I lived in the gym, I lived in the weight room, everything was that. And I'm like, eventually I'm gonna play. I don't know when, and this is what I tell a lot of the kids, like I said, kids I train, kids in my AAU program, kids in the community in general. I'm like, every day, anything you do to get better, you got to treat that shit like it's the game. Like practice is a game. Individual workout is a game. Coming back to work out on your own is a game. Everything is like the game. Game speed, game tempo, game mentality. All that's the same. Like, it's not like, oh, man, I'm going to just chill today. No, ain't no just chill today, bro. It could be over with. You know what I mean? People, a little over 5,000 people have ever played in the NBA.
Yeah.
5,000 people. All the people in the world. Bro, you got to take, and I'm undrafted. It's even, do the math on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Days off with this. You know what I'm saying? So that was the mentality I took. And I'm really thankful that I had the guys that I had around me. I learned a lot from all of them in different aspects of life, on and off the court, like all that. To this day still. So yeah, man, it was a journey. So that game leading up to that, of course, Coach Nelson. I'm working out. I feel great. I work out everything. I'm playing 1-on-1, 3-on-3 with the guys. That's like my game time to me. So we had shoot around that day. We played an early game against the Clippers. I remember that. And he was like, "Where's Morrow?" We in the huddle. We just finished shoot around. I just finished work. He was like, "You start tonight. You started today." We had shoot around because it was like an early game. It was like, starting today. I was like, all right. So go back to the hotel, get right, come back, I start. And I don't really feel pressure. I felt normal. That's how like that team was to me. Like the vets, the younger guys, like I felt comfortable. I'm like, shit, I'm ready for it. Whatever happens, you're either gonna take me out of the game or they gonna let me play. So I come out and score like the first 7, get in the rhythm, come out again, coach call a play. I run the play, but I just score like 3 straight. Get to the timeout. How the coaches go and huddle while the players talk before the coaches come up. As soon as we sit on the bench, Stack right here, man. Hey, young fella, hey, man. Why the fuck you pass the ball? You just scored 3 straight. Keep going. Play basketball. Play your game. And I couldn't say that. I was like, all right. Ain't nobody had to tell me that. But I'm like, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm my rookie year. I'm like, all right, I got you. And that's all I needed to hear. So then, one thing led to another, man. I look up. I'm not even looking up. The Clippers crowd started chanting and shit. You know what I'm saying? They were like rooting for me. So I'm at the free throw line and I look up. I ain't even look up. Just like middle of the fourth quarter, it's like kind of still a close game. I'm playing. I look up. I'm like, damn, I got 34. I'm like, shit, I might get 50. You know what I'm saying? End up with 37. But like, I didn't really realize it to the point where, I did the interviews and stuff. And then I go to the back, take a shower, come back to the locker, put my stuff on. And I turn around, finna walk out. So I see all these cameras, but I'm used to all the cameras being around like Corey, Al, Stack, Monte. So I'm not even thinking they for me. So I turn around and I'm walking out. PR guy, shout out my man Raymond. Hey, where you going? Hey, Mo, where you going? I'm like, what? They need to talk to you. So they like, so it's like the first interview and then get back. Rest in peace, my man, Tyrus, man. He was he was at my homie Marcus Williams' condo. I used to hang out with them a lot because I ain't really had nobody other than CJ to hang with, but he had like a family. So I walk in and Tyrus was like, "Bro, you on ESPN? They're doing a special." So I look, I'm like, damn. So I look at my phone, I finally get service. It's like mama, dad, hey, everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that because we was on the plane, so they did that. You know, we on a 3-hour difference.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, man. But that was like, you know, I saw Don Nelson and Stevie Jackson had a moment. I heard him like kind of ear hustling. I wasn't really paying attention, but it was like, see, Don was like, I got one. Because he like down in the rough guys, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, that was kind of like a moment of not comfort. It was a moment of kind of like solidarity. Like, I could be here. Like, I belong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was, you know, I mean, being undrafted, that mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't like you was 14 knowing you going to the league, or 15 or 16 who know you. It was like, nah, you had to really, you know, had to go the long route.
He was on that high, you know, with that first game, and then that same year, you're the first ever Golden State Warrior, first rookie to lead the NBA in 3-point percentage. What's your reaction hearing that, you know, being the first Golden State Warrior ever, and then being the first rookie to lead the NBA in 3-point percentage?
Nah, that was crazy, man. Because I remember, the last game, it came down between me and I forgot who it was. And I didn't know I would be the first rookie to ever lead the league in 3-point percentage. I didn't know that. I just knew I was up there somewhere. I knew I was like number one for a long time that year. And because it wasn't like I was taking 1 or 2 threes a game. I was taking like 5, 6 threes a game, which is kind of a lot back then. Now you shoot 12, 14 threes is normal.
Yeah.
She had me too early. It's been crazy right now, JP. You hear me? Real talk, bro. Love how they play now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he was like, he said, look, this is what Don does. Like, look, if you make 2 threes, don't shoot any more threes. I was like, all right. So I hit one, I missed one, and then I hit another one. So I'm like 2 for 3, playing Phoenix. But I'm like playing. So I'm like, whatever comes, I'm like, he's gonna take me out if I miss another one. And I end up hitting one. But at that time, we already had the game won. And he was like, and I ended up playing, I had like 30 something. And he was like, you listen to me. I ended up going like 3 for 5 or 3 for 6 from 3. He was like, you'd have missed another one, I took you out the game. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm still trying to play, you know? But he was like, you know, he was calculated like that, man. But I thank God I came to the league with like an offensive-minded coach. And not just an offensive-minded coach, an offensive genius coach. You know, that was a player's coach, but he was tough, man. But I was used to that, man. So it was like the perfect, everything aligned, man. I thank God for that whole era and period of my life, man. Because I was really around some genuine folks, especially coming into the league, you know, just willing to be a sponge. Like, man, I just want to get better, man. What do you do? I want to do that, but I'm going to do it like 2 or 3 times more than you have to do it. You established. I'm trying to get there. I got to go 3 times harder, you know. But, yeah, that was a dope time, man.
You ended up going back into the Summer League in 2009, and you still hold the record to this day of the most points scored in Summer League history with 47 points against the Hornets. Take me through that day.
I was one of the showcase guys, so they wanted to see us, me, Anthony Randolph, a couple other guys play 2 or 3 games Summer League and then just work out and just hang out in Vegas. So, like, the first game, I don't know, I had, like, maybe 16 or 17 or something. And then before the second game, I, like, sprained my ankle in the practice, so I ain't play. And then that day I didn't play. My man, Ant Randolph, had 42. So he broke the record. So the next day, like we had I think we had like practice or something. So I practiced that day. I like tweaked my joint. They was like, you ain't gotta play. But if you want to come back, I'm like, I'm coming back. So I told Ann, I said, I'm gonna break your record today, bro. I said, I'm gonna break your record tomorrow. He was like, man, you don't break that. I swear, you can ask. I hope he watched this. That's my brother, man. I said, I'm gonna break your record tomorrow, bro. He know I'm not lying. I said, I'm gonna break it. He was like, nah, bro, because he had a tough 42.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think he's still second. And that next day, I felt good. You know, came out. I don't know, I had like 15 in the first quarter or something like that. I don't even remember, bro. I just remember the last bucket I got. I had like 44. Hezzy pulled from the wing and went in. And I was like, nah, I got to stand. I got to get 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, the game was over, whatever. And I think that was when I was like, all right, this year I got to go even crazier going into training camp with the work, discipline, and all that, because that was the contract year. And that was good, man. Shout out to my boy Anthony Tolliver. Just saw him last week. He caught some of that 47. I mess with my boy, man. That's my brother, man. For real, man. But yeah, we talk about it, you know. But it's funny because he ended up being a Warrior. He ended up playing together with the Warriors that next year. And to this day, like I said, man, it's like a fraternity, bro. You know, he was on his grind too. You know, he carved out a nice career for him as well. And you know, that was a special time for a lot of those guys that was either late second round picks or like undrafted guys really got to prove themselves, and it was a good time, man.
Going into that training camp, your second season, a guy that came through, you know, his first ever year as a rookie, who's ended up probably the greatest three-point shooter of all time, and Steph Curry. Y'all grew up together in Charlotte, and y'all trained together. Y'all was rivals too in school and all that. What was it like to see like a young Steph Curry, and like what was the moment that you knew that he was going to be something special?
I mean, I always tell people like he could always shoot like that. It was like he didn't unlock like the rest of his game. I'm like, bro, he can do everything. It's just that he wasn't really unlocking it until later on. He played in the summer league game at the Pro-Am at the Grady Cole Center here in Charlotte. And a lot of people know this story. If you're from Charlotte, you remember. You know, they always try to debo him and try to push him around. Dale Curry's son here. Everybody coming to the gym. Him and Seth. Like anybody saw the Currys, they going at him. You know, which makes sense because it's Dale. And I don't know, he had like a tough first half. He played in the summer league. This is Pro-Am, you know, summer basketball. And in the second half, he had like 45. And he played like he played now. And that was the first time we ever seen him like that. And I remember I was sitting there. His dad told him, I don't care what happens. Play like that no matter what. I don't care if you airball, I don't care if you miss shots, I don't care if you turn the ball over. I don't care about none of that. Play like you played today. He never turned his back. He went to Davidson and did what he did. He got to the Warriors. A lot of people don't know this. Shout out to my people with the Warriors. Draft day. This is his draft. I remember I was working out. I'm in Oakland, practice facility. All the media is there. I work out, go in the media room, fix something to eat. Media folks talking. And me being me, I'm like, y'all need to draft Steph, man. We need Steph. And they looking at me like, a lot of guys like Steph end up overseas. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, we don't know. Because I know who they wanted. I ain't going to say who they wanted. And I know where Steph wanted to go. Everybody knows Steph wanted to go to New York.
Yeah.
And Golden State had a 7 pick, so they take Steph. And a couple years later, like 2 or 3 years later, like 3 or 4 years later, matter of fact. I saw the same people that were saying that. I said, it worked out, didn't it? I was like, you called that. On draft day. I said, I told you. So we ain't never seen. But see, I saw him since he was a kid. Like he could play like that. He could shoot. He needed that growth spurt. He was always little. Big ass feet. I'm like, he gotta grow into them feet eventually, man. Daddy's 6'6", shoot the hell out the ball. I'm like, he gonna be all right, bro. And you know, I'm just super proud of him, man. Like for real. You know, just to see him still the same person that he was then and see what he's involved, like bigger than life, like a mogul now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still put on for the city. And you know, it's amazing, man. Like he invited me to workouts, people I didn't even know that I ended up having long life relationships with in terms of workout, in terms of off the court families and everything like that. You know, it's just been real organic with him and his growth and his his prowess, you know, and his development over his years. And it's like he's still getting better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, man, the journey, man, like that basketball puts you in buildings and places around this world you never would have thought you'd have been in, man. And he's definitely a living testimony. We all are, but to see that, man, it's just like legacy. You want to build that not just for you want to build that for your kids, your community, your neighborhoods, everything like that.
Shout out to Steph, man. Before he got the nickname Chef Curry, is it also true? I heard a rumor that you nicknamed him Middle School Shorty.
How do you know this?
I do my research, man. I don't have anybody. I do my research,
ESPN next week, man. That's crazy. Hey, Middle School Shorty, man. Middle School Shorty, I nicknamed him. Everybody, why did everybody call him? I said because the way he played, I still call him that. Because the way he plays is like, you know, when like kids just play carefree. It's like he still got that in his game.
Yeah.
Polished.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, you know, you play like you in the 6th grade, but like you in the league. You know what I'm saying? And it's effective. You know how good you got to be to do that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really say because he still had the baby face back then. But I'm like, yeah, man, he Middle School Shorty. It was like, I didn't think he was going to catch on like that, but people started hearing me call him that. I mean, so they like, everybody asked like, why you call him that? I'm like, hey, man, you know at this point. You know what I'm saying? So it was like me and CJ and Rico Hines, we kind of just like, you know, we used to always just like joke with him about that. But I'm like, it's crazy. You play like it's just like we just outside in the parking lot. Like we just out on the blacktop. You know what I'm saying? But that's what make him who he is. I said, look, you ever worked out with him? Like him and KD, like my probably 2 favorite professional like pros to work out with. There's other guys too, but like, you know, those 2 guys, man, it's so creative. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, he work out like the shit you see in the game. He really work out on it. He works on that. You know, so I'm not surprised at none of the, you know, those guys is like that. I'm not surprised at, you know, James Harden like that too. Like they work on the stuff you see in the game. Damian Lillard, you know, but yeah.
I forgot to ask this too before I got into the Steph question and stuff like that. Like you was on a high your rookie year. Was there like a welcome to the NBA moment for you, or did somebody welcome you into the NBA?
Yeah. Caron Butler.
Oof.
We don't talk about Caron Butler enough.
Boy, he was a beast with the Wizards.
I saw Caron Butler the other day in practice with the Heat get buckets on guys, like real buckets in the shell. I'm sure he ain't had to play no defense. He's playing offense. Oh, bro. He was with the Wizards then. That's what they had Gilbert and Larry Hughes.
Jameson.
Twan, yeah. Charlotte. Antoine James. And Twan was still getting to it. Double-double. Yeah, wow, really good back then. But yeah, Caron Butler, man, he was tough. Cause I was in the middle of like averaging about 24 my rookie year. Like during that time, I was hot after the 37, and we had to go to Washington. It was like off one of those like a road, just on my first real road trip with having to play real minutes.
Yeah.
So we're on the back end of the East Coast trip. I'm tired as hell. I mean, I'm not tired, but I'm like feeling like the physicality at this point for the first time.
Yeah.
Man, they was just sick and Karan on me. Pick and roll, kind of screen to get me on. I'm like, God, and he physical as hell at the time. You know, I got older, I was cool with it. But back then, it was tough, man. He had the same, it was him. Melo was like that.
Oof.
But at the time, Karan was a little more physical than Melo then. Melo got like that later, but I'm not comparing them. But their games was similar with how they played. But Melo was different because he's like 2-3 inches tall and he could shoot. Like, he's different. But yeah, Karan was like the welcome to the NBA because he wouldn't let me off the hook. He was like, every time he didn't have to say nothing. It was like, every time I see you. I knew it. He knew I knew it. He got older, I could get at him a little bit more. When I got a little older, I'm like, okay. You know, but he started getting older too. But yeah, Karan, man, he don't get enough flowers, man. It was tough. Karan Butler, Dwayne Wade in his prime. Yeah. Because you couldn't just back off of him. I'm like, man, please shoot a three. And he just coming at you with the Euro steps and he's strong, he'll dunk on you. He never dunk on me, but he was tough. Yeah, those are my welcome to the NBA guys, man. Karan Butler and Dwayne Wade.
Oof. Yeah, that's some welcome to NBA moments right there. And
Dwayne didn't really guard me though, so I could still score. I'm 25, but I might give up 30 if I had to guard him the whole game. So I might give him a quick 8 because he getting to the line. They don't call every foul on me, especially when I'm fighting.
Shout out to Karan Butler, shout out to Dwayne Wade too as well. After your second season with Golden State, you ended up going to the Nets. I know that Golden State was trying to match an offer, just what the Nets was doing and stuff, but they ended up trading you to the Nets for it's like a sign and trade. Is that true?
Yeah, I had a qualifying offer from Golden State. And it was like 1.8. But at that time, I'm like, I know I'm getting more than that, you know, because I still was like top 5 3-point percentage. I had a good year. Individually, we didn't play. I mean, we were young as a team. And then, Jersey came in. And I thought it was going to be New York at first. I was like really excited.
Oh, wow.
Like Amari and all them or something. I was like, damn, I get the chance because they were in the mix teams. It was like New York, Jersey, I think like Miami. There's a couple other teams. But I was like, New York, bro. I was like really excited about that. And you know, I didn't know much about Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And other than playing in the Meadowlands, man, it was rough. But it was cool. But I didn't think that I was on their radar. But then shout out to Avery Johnson, Billy King was over there, Rod Thorne at the time. And they really rocked with me. But I thought I was gonna go to I thought Golden State was gonna be able to match, but they wanted like a real small forward, so that's why they went after Darrell. Trying to grow Darrell. And they were like, man, we can't match that right now. We want to. And it was only all about like $1 million or $2 million or something like that. And I was like, well, I gotta go, you know. And it was the best decision that I could make at that time for sure. Because it was like a rebuild, 100% rebuild in Jersey. And I'm like, well, at least you're a part of a rebuild. You go in there, you do what you've been doing, and just work hard. Avery believed in me. At the time, PJ Carlissimo was over there. Popeye Jones, still a guy. We had Sam Mitchell. We had a real crew over there, man. But, you know, those are still my guys to this day, you know. And I was just thankful for the opportunity. And I really wanted to go to Brooklyn, man. I was sad when they traded me from there to Atlanta. Yeah, but that's the business.
Yeah.
Politics. But it's all good, though, man. I learned a lot. I was glad to be able to, because to this day, me and Coach Johnson still close. Avery, man, that's my guy. So be able to kind of plant the seed for the kind of mentorship that he has for me now to this day.
But was it also true that you almost got traded for Carmelo before the Nets ended up moving to Brooklyn?
Hell yeah, bro. It's crazy. Like, I remember it was just like before training camp. I just got there, like furniture just moved in. You know, like just got the car shipped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember it was like heavy on the news every day. Like, you can't not watch it. You know what I mean? You can't not hear about it every day. People calling. I remember I went to like work out or something, and I called my mom because it got crazy. I was like, Mom, I just got back from the gym. She's like, you doing all right? I'm like, I don't know, Mom. I might be going to Denver. She's like, you just got to Jersey. What you mean? We just shipped the cars off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Mom, I don't know. It's crazy right now, and I'm about to take a nap. So I'm thinking like, if I wake up and I'm thinking like I might wake up traded. I ain't never, like, it was crazy because it was just the timing of it because everybody knew Melo was trying to get out of Denver.
Yeah.
And he had it was like either going to be New York or Jersey because he knew everybody was banking on him coming because it's Brooklyn. They're going to Brooklyn in a couple years. And I woke up and it was like, Carmelo traded to the New York Knicks. I was like, and it was going to be like 6 of us. So I'm calling the guys like, y'all saw it? Like, yeah, man, we good, man. We ain't even finished unpacking yet because we didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Timing was just crazy. And then, you know, it was what it was. But I wanted to stay, end up getting traded to Atlanta. And I wanted to stay because I was really looking forward to it. They was already giving us Brooklyn gear. Like, my dad still wears Brooklyn shirt. Like, they ain't never put it there on their team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool, man. It was just an interesting situation. That's just politics of the league, though, man. You know, especially as like, you know, like a role player. It's only a handful of guys in a prime like Melo was at that time that could, you know, kind of call that kind of dog. Like, I can tell you where I want to go. It don't matter who get traded for what. I want to be over there. Because, you know, it's guys that can change the economy in the city, you know, like now, you know, anybody. Giannis, hey, I want to go here. They don't understand them other 4 or 5 dudes is about to go in that trade over there that already got their kids enrolled in school and preschool and daycares and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matter. Everybody's part of the program, you know, but it's all good though.
During that time, like, you know, over the years, you was in the top 5, top 6 in 3-point percentage. I'm very surprised that you was only in one 3-point contest. I thought you'd probably be in like a few. I
thought I was going to be in like at least 2 of them, bro.
Yeah.
And that one I was in, man, I wanted to like really prepare because I was watching the guys like that was in the 3-point contest. Like, they had all the racks. We had like 2 racks in Jersey. And I asked Billy King, I'm like, hey, can we just rent some more racks so I could just practice this? Because I never really shot off the rack. I had been in like high school 3-point contests and stuff, but I never been in like shoot off a rack for real. So I was trying to work on it, and I'm like, I need to time myself. I'll come here by myself. Just order 3 racks. We can give them back to the league. You ain't got, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I just need to do this shit for like a week. Let me do this for a week after practice at night, come back and just do it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm in the gym shooting anyway, so I'm trying to do it with 1 rack, but I can't time myself. So, yeah, I didn't even finish my first. I ain't finished it. And I still hit like 14 or something like that. And I'm like, man, I should have been like 21. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, if I make it to the second round, now I know what I'm dealing with, time-wise. And I was shooting like I was just like at the gym, like regular. Well, you got to really kind of, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with shooting fast, but I just I didn't have the timing down. But that was fun though, man.
Oh, for sure. And nice touch, too, on the Drazen Popovich jersey, too, that you was wearing for the 3-point contest. Like, nobody don't really talk about him like that, you know, because he was like one of those guys that's just like, man, he would give it to anybody.
You know what's crazy, man? Like, First of all, that jersey upstairs, away from everything. Shout out, rest in peace, Johnson.
For sure.
It's crazy because after that, we had a game, and I got to meet his mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got to meet his mom, bro. After the game in the tunnel, and she gave me a huge hug, man. It's like, thank you. You know, that was my idea. I'm like, yo, can I wear? Because his jersey was up in the practice facility and at the time Prudential Center, and I had heard about him, so I like went on YouTube and looked him up, and I saw how good he was, and I was like, damn. I called Billy. I'm like, hey, is it cool if I wear Drosden's jersey in the 3-point contest? He was like, I don't know. Let me call the league, and the league was cool with it. So they had the jersey laid out. It's like, hell yeah, it was a lot of pressure. I ain't feel that pressure though. I thought it was dope. I just felt like it was cool. They let me keep the jersey too. So like,
oh wow,
like it's on ice, man. I keep it up there. But his mom was super nice, man. Shout out to them, man. She was like in tears. You know what I mean? Thank you. I was like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal till I met his mom and his family. You know, but yeah, shout out to Drazen Petrovic, man.
And I've tried to tell people, I said, look, if you don't know Drazen, just look up one of Maxwell's stories about Drazen and you will know who Drazen is.
and B Max, the big homie, he lived here in Charlotte.
Oh, really?
Don't lie about that. He know. I don't lie about that, bro. It was a problem.
You got your chance to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I also seen that you said that OKC was like your favorite place to play. What was that experience like to play with the OKC, and what was the experience like, you know, playing alongside Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook?
It was great, man. Those guys, man. I mean, not just Kevin Russ. Those my brothers, Serge, Ibaka, Ken, Collison, Magon, Andre Robertson, like all those guys, man. All of them. The whole organization, top tier, A1 since day one. You see where they at now. See the success of the young guys on and off the court. Seeing the success of the guys that were there, that's doing their thing still, on and off the court. It was just, that was, at that point, it was like I had my kids. Oklahoma was slower moving than I came in the league. The cities, the Bay Area is jumping, like it's cracking, like everything going on there. I'm going to New York, Jersey, Atlanta, Dallas, like it was all New Orleans, like everything going on cities. I lived in the cities of these cities, you know? So like, you know, kind of settle downtown, you know, and there's nothing else to do in Oklahoma but hoop, eat great, you know, super great community, fan base, A1, everything. You know, I love Oklahoma City, man, like for real. Not just the organization, but the community, the camaraderie. We're the only professional sports team in the state, which is really unheard of, you know. So it was just a great transition time for me to really lock in on like everything in terms of mind, body, spiritually, everything. I could lock in there. And the city gravitated towards me. I really just embraced the whole atmosphere in the city and the organization from my side. And, you know, it was, I mean, we went to the Western Conference Finals and lost to the only team that won 73 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole year. They swept us, and we still felt like we could beat them. That was like our finals. Because we knew we could get past Cleveland if we really got there. LeBron told KD that. When he wanted to see y'all, he was cool with Golden State. Y'all burnt them out. You know? And it was a dog fight. You know, it was a dog fight. It would have been a dog fight if we seen Cleveland in the finals. But you know, we came up a little short. That was a tough one right there, man. Because people don't understand how locked in you have to be during that process of getting to a conference final. And then going 7 games like that, you know. But that's as close as I got to the Grail. But it's a real journey. You know, that we could write a whole documentary. They can do a documentary on that season with us, man. The past 2 seasons, everybody got hurt the year before. Everybody had to get back healthy. You know, all the ups and downs, man. All the guys stuck together, though, man. You know, like I said, it's like a fraternity. It's a brotherhood, man. Everybody's you fight through it. You get to that certain point, man. You really see what everybody made of, and you know, it was cool, man. We just didn't get to where we wanted to get to all the way.
Yeah, and that was a great rivalry. I remember watching it that season, like y'all going back and forth. Y'all was up like 3 games to I think it was 3 games to 1, or I think it was 3 games to 1, right?
Yeah, 3-1.
And it was just like, I was like, okay, OKC and Cleveland's going to be in the finals, and then Golden State just came out of nowhere. Clay had a crazy game 6.
Yeah, he had 11 threes, man. I rock with Clay too, man. I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, he one of those guys like aesthetically it looks like I love seeing him. Like, people say that about my jump shot, but I'm like, man, you gotta understand, like, jump shooters can see person that can shoot like that, and it's like I like Ray Allen to me was like that.
Yeah.
I watch him shoot jump shots. Cal Corver, one of my guys like that. People say that about my jump shot. I'm like, we still have to see other people shoot that's like that. Clay, one of those guys. And I always said, I'm like, as great as Steph is, I said, when they were in their primes together like that, I said, I always told them, I'm like, yo, we can't let Clay get any kind of confidence. Because he going to shoot anything.
Yes.
6'7", he going to shoot over you anyway. He shoot from up here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you got to smother him, bro. Because he always think he open. And it's not just about shooting form and all that. I'm like, his mentality is like that. He'll shoot 27 threes in the game if he could. Back then, his shot ethic is what I call, like, work ethic, shot ethic. How many shots do you feel like you can get off efficiently? Yeah. Without feeling like your arm about to go out or you don't want to shoot no more. Like, it don't stop with people like that. Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, it got hot. It was crazy.
It was just like rumors and stuff before KD went to Golden State about like friction between KD and Westbrook. Did you see any of that during that season, or just like season prior where Westbrook and KD was just having like kind of friction, wasn't getting along?
Oh, no, man. It was the same all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we winning games. Like, they not really, like, it was nothing. I think you got 2 super highly competitive guys. What you had was 2 super highly competitive dudes, bro, that in their own right are great, Hall of Fame, first ballot guys, in my opinion. And I felt like they grew up together. Like, they were babies when they came in the league, and they like brothers. You know, the media is going to paint it to be big brother, little brother, and all this type of shit, which don't make sense. Man, you know what I'm saying? They came in the league, they're young, they had to figure the league out, they had to navigate through the league and navigate through their own journeys within their greatness. Of course they bumped heads. Hell yeah. It wasn't to the point where it was going to be like, we finna lose this game to these people. Like, they'll do anything to sacrifice to win a game for each other. But, you know, when it's that much, I felt like they kind of outgrew each other. And a little similar to the Shaq and Penny thing, but not exactly the same. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I can say that now because I was there. I had to mediate between both of them as best as I could, which I was asked to do because I'm cool and close with both of them. It was never no real animosity, man. It's just, you got 2 dogs, 2 pit bulls, you know what I'm saying? That one of them is the young pit bull that's ready to go at all times. The other one is a pit bull, but he's a little more calculated. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that could be, you know, it was just conflict at times, but not like to the point where it was costing us games or costing us chemistry in the locker room. We all knew how both of those peaked up. We used to joke about how they were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it never went too far. That's how close we were as a team, as a brotherhood. Like in the locker room, it was cool. I don't think it was something that cost us anything in terms of the work we put in and the preparation, you know, and the camaraderie we had and the support we had for each other. You know, I think that us not getting to the finals, if we go to the finals that year, nobody's ever asking that question. You know, even if we lose to Cleveland in the finals, which we was not going to lose to Cleveland in the finals that year. But even if we did, it still wouldn't be a conversation. You know, so, you know, I've been getting that question for like the last 10 years. But I'm like, man, it was never no real smoke between them guys in real life, man. Dudes compete, you know. And hell yeah, everybody got into it that year. That was a long season. That was a long year, bro. We all got into it, you know, at some point. But we all had each other's back on and off the court for sure, though. For real. And I say that, I swear, I really say that in real confidence. Everybody was down for each other. It was like I wouldn't call it big brother, little brother. It was more like I'm gonna do it my way. It was just like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do it this way, you do it that way. But they always understood how to come. Like, we closed games out with them understanding some type of understanding they had with each other. We didn't really understand it at the time. Yeah, figure it out. You know what I mean? It's two smart, intelligent, hyper competitive guys working in the same area. Y'all gonna figure that shit out. Y'all both want to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just felt like the story didn't end the way that we wanted it to end. I don't think it ended the way they wanted it to end.
Yeah.
You know, but it's part of the, like I said, it's part of the journey. It's part of the process. At the end of the day, you got 2 first ballot Hall of Fame guys. You know, and that's the end of the day.
I seen a quote that you said that really kind of stood out to me, that kind of made me think about, like, you know, how to describe your NBA career for 10 years. You said, my whole career is basically based off fighting so for it to be like from the beginning and now towards the end is only right for me in my life and what I've been through.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's always like nothing came easy. It's like nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always felt like I had to find a way through the side door. You know what I'm saying? I had to find a way. Just let me get up there. Like, if you let me get my foot in the door, bro, I'm kicking it open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going there, guns blazing. What we doing? What are we doing right now, bro? Where we at? You know what I'm saying? And that's the mentality that I had to have, you know, and I still have it, you know, in my other ventures of life, business, anything else, philanthropy, speaking, you know, anything I could do to engage the spirit, because I can't ever replace what basketball was for me, especially with how I had to get to where I got to. But damn sure it's close with everything I'm doing now, you know, and that's about as close as it's gonna get for me to be able to push that passion into other facets of my life, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's about it. It would feel, I don't even know what it would feel like to have anything handed to me during that whole journey. You know, you gotta do something different to be different from other people. You gotta set yourself apart. So how you gonna set yourself apart? You gotta figure that part out first. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell the youngins, if you don't figure that part out first, you ain't gonna know where to start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, it was always, you know, we start off with the work, get better at something every day and build on that.
You got the Anthony Morrow charities, and then you have the A&G Sports Entertainment that you're extremely proud of, that we talked over the phone. How did that came to be? And then also, like, what made you go into that side of media, helping athletes in the next level?
Well, with charities, we've been doing that for 15 years, man. Shout out to my manager. one of my closest friends, Vina Vaughn. I've been doing this with her she got involved probably about 7, 8 years ago. But I 501(c)(3'd everything in 2008, 9, somewhere around there. And I'm from West Boulevard, underserved community. I know a lot of guys go through it. I don't want to sound like a cliche. You know me, you know where it is, what's going on. And started off hot dogs and hamburgers. Shout out to Miss Elfrida Brown, Ponderosa community neighborhood off the boulevard, and kind of just built from there, helping them out, and then create my own initiative. Now we at the point now we went from that to Thanksgiving and Christmas to now Thanksgiving, Christmas, basketball clinics, financial literacy programs. We've done mental health programs in middle schools. Healthy Minds is what it's called. It's not clinical, but we go into these community centers in middle schools and high schools, helping kids kind of navigate through just the climate we're in, whether it's, what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what triggers do you have. We have different programs for different age groups. So we got the little kids, we do like bingo or like little basketball games or something we put together with my guys and my homegirls that are clinical, like they licensed, but we do this non-clinical. We just put things together for them. Programs partnering with like CMS schools, Charlotte Mecklenburg school system, and some charter schools, magnet schools, and rec centers. And put a lot of programs in, man. Interns, program, like everything like that. And we still building on that. We just partnered with a tech company that we've been doing that with. Building the early stages of wealth management. So we done built out just from hot dogs and hamburgers to now we partnerships with, Fifth Third Bank, Bank of America. We getting some real, Novant, like these places that now we have access to that are supporting our initiatives, and that's based off what they don't teach us in school. And some of the resources we don't have where I'm from that we're working on. And a lot of people outside of my foundation and my board and other foundations are bringing to the communities that's underserved around Charlotte, underserved areas and surrounding areas that's underserved around Charlotte too. We done work Southeast DC Boys and Girls Club back like 2009. Oakland, Boys and Girls Clubs everywhere. So we've been moving, man, and just basically just building this. This is like never ending in terms of building resources and networking with people to be able to, just uplift some of these areas is kind of getting taken advantage of through gentrification or, redlining. People can't get the same opportunities. Same thing has been going on. Just showing people is different avenues, what I would have wanted to know when I was growing up as an adolescent over there and stuff like that. AnthonyMorrowCharities.com. You can check that out. AMO Charities on Instagram. It's AMO Charities on all social media platforms, but AnthonyMorrow.com is AnthonyMorrowCharities.com is the official website for my foundation. Shout out to my board, shout out to Vina and my whole community. All the support and continuous support, man. I'm really thankful and blessed. I just, we can always use more and more, of course, to build more awareness. Not just for West Boulevard, but for all underserved areas. Not just in Charlotte, but everywhere, got a lot of connections, man. Now, as far as AG Entertainment, sports entertainment, shout out to my partner, my brother Gary Young, my sister Ivory Latta, Gary Young, great guy, man. Was a sports agent for about 6-7 years. He ran for his district. He's from the east side, Charlotte, real Charlottean. Been working in business and finance for years. And we kind of brainstormed over the years and finally came up with something that we could make sense. Sports and entertainment, in the sports and entertainment space. working in the NIL space with the kids. We're not agents, we're more like brokers. We got a lot of connections, a lot of reach. We just signed, but we just finalized a partnership with Bank of America, which is huge, especially here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank God for that. Ivory Ladder, Chapel Hill, Morrow, right there out of York, South Carolina. That's my girl, that's my love, that's my big little sister.
Shout out.
Proud of her. She's glad to have her a part of the team too. You know, her reach is incredible. People person, a lot of connections, super smart. So we just, we built a solid foundation right here. We've been LLC'd and everything's been official for the last about 3 months. And we getting to work right after this interview. We was at work before this, we getting back to work after. And we at work in the morning. So look out for that, man. We're working.
Like I said, both of them are great causes, man. Definitely check it out, y'all. Before I let you get up on out of here, man, I appreciate the time for this interview. I'm very appreciative and all that. I was supposed to been doing it last week and all that, but things happen and everything. So I really am appreciative for this interview. Just a couple quick questions before I get you out of here. I know you've been paying attention to the NBA season because you always like saying like you wish that your game would translate to today's game because of
you had me too early. Get 150 million right now a year.
all the money in the
way. Shoot 22 threes a game.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, your game would be so perfect for today. Who you got coming out the East and who you got coming out the West?
I got Boston, OKC, bro. I love Detroit, man. They like OKC like 2-3 years ago. They can come out the East every year for the next like 4 or 5 years. Hungry, they superstar, super young. And I have maybe, I don't know if they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals now. Your superstar, mobile in the making, collapsed lung serious.
That is a serious injury, yeah.
I think this is just part of the bumps and bruises on the way to them maybe getting a championship in the next like 5 years. If they keep that together, what they have over there, and keep building, yeah, Detroit got a blueprint. They got an identity now. Just Cade getting that type of injury, it was
unfortunate, yeah.
Like Wemby got the bruised rib. He can jump back from that. He's gonna have to play in pain these playoffs. But a collapsed lung, that's different.
That's hard.
And then he the engine to their entire offense. His usage rate. Go look at his usage rate. You know what I'm saying? He do everything for them.
Yeah.
But that scares me. So I got Boston because Boston is clicking on all cylinders. Jason Tatum. Everybody thinking why he coming. I was kind of like, I wouldn't bring him back, but
me too.
Something we didn't know because he looking more like 95, like 90, 93% more than like think he's gonna be 65, 70%. He looking like regular Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And he don't have to do nothing extra because JB is already MVP. He been playing at the MVP level all season.
Yep.
You ain't got to come in and reinvent the wheel. That's what I'm saying. They've been there before. They got a chip. They already been together. They got a culture. They got a great coach. I don't see how they don't come out the East. Like, I don't see like Cleveland beating them. Who can beat them 7 games? Like Detroit probably because they're so physical, but without Cade 100%, I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I don't see it. That was my only scary team that I thought that could give Boston a chance was Detroit. But with K coming back, and not being like at 100%, Boston does have a chance. And you did say OKC in the West. I'm thinking San Antonio, but I do think OKC is going to find a way because San Antonio is a really good team, and they've been wiping out that Thunder this season. But the question always is like the experience for the playoffs, because San Antonio, this is their first playoff experience. So I wonder how well they can, go under pressure in the playoffs. Well, OKC been there before, but I mean, shit, nobody ain't gonna beat OKC in the 7-game series in the playoffs.
I don't like that. I don't like the bruised ribs with Wemby, man, because this is a bad time for an injury like that.
Yeah.
You know how many screens they're gonna be setting on him? Directly where his ribs at. It's playoff time, bro. They're not calling them fouls.
Nope.
And it's like the worst time. This happened like before All-Star break. Bruce Reds, Wemby, all right, whatever. It's 3 games left. Playoffs in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? But he's still gonna put on. He'll be good. But I don't know if they ready yet to take that. Let me ask you something. Who's prime to take a faster leap, San Antonio or Detroit? Because they're kind of in the same. It's like the East and the West. They're kind of
my heart says San Antonio, but Detroit, even with the playoff experience they had last year against New York and stuff, and they were very close to beating the Knicks and all that. I think that Detroit probably will be the team that's probably going to go at a faster rate than San Antonio, because if you think about San Antonio, they're in the Western Conference. There's going to be a lot of competition. Compared to the East, they only have to worry about maybe 2 teams?
I'm talking about moving forward, not this year.
Oh, just moving forward.
Like taking a leap to we're going to the finals, like Detroit or San Antonio. Not like this year. I'm talking about
not this year, but in the future.
Yeah.
San Antonio, because San Antonio, not just because of Wemby, because everybody be talking about the impact of Wemby, but that guards that they have in San Antonio with Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, who took a major leap this year. And then they got a really nice bench right there with Keaton Johnson and Keldon Johnson. I'm sorry. And then you got vets like Luke Cornett and Harrison Barnes. I think they're probably going to be the team to beat in a couple of years and all that. If Wemby, once Wemby gets bigger and stronger and stuff, I mean, San Antonio is going to be the team to beat in a couple of years.
Respect it.
Yeah.
Said Detroit in the East. They're going to still have to deal with Denver over there. And, of course, that monster. OKC.
Yeah. I mean, they've been proving that they can be
crazy
OKC, though. They've been proving that, so.
No, I mean, they rightfully so. Rightfully so. I'm just trying to see, who would make the finals, who would make the finals first. It's kind of hard to say Detroit will make it out the East before San Antonio. They still got 2. Well, yeah, because Boston ain't really going nowhere no time soon. But Detroit, it's like Charlotte, Atlanta. Atlanta, they took a leap this year. Charlotte did too.
Yep.
I just want to see if they can sustain that. They're 2-3 steps away, but Detroit and San Antonio is right there.
Yeah.
We'll see. We got free agency. We got to see what's going on, Jay. A lot going on, baby.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but the future is definitely bright. And then my last question too, as well. All the guys that you have played with over the years in the NBA, who will be your starting 5, including yourself? Who will be the other 4 that you would take with you to the hardwood floor or on the outside courts? Obviously, I know who's going to be the point guard.
I have to include myself?
Include yourself. Obviously, we know the point guard.
Is my former teammates?
Yeah, your former teammates, yeah.
Tough.
Except for the point guard. The point guard, we kind of know.
I mean, I got to. He can shoot. I got to put Steph in there.
There we go. There we go.
That means there's one other person that ain't gonna be helping off. I gotta put Steph, Kev.
Ooh.
Does these people have to be in a prime or when I play with them?
Prime.
In a prime?
In the prime.
Damn. Steph, Kev, Dirk at the 4.
Oof. Oof. Oof.
Hold on, bro, because I gotta think.
That's a nasty team right there. That is a nasty team.
We ain't missing no shots, man.
Oh no.
Oh man. I need a rim. I need like an enforcer, bro. This because I played with damn. I played with like Brooke Lopez at the 5.
I was gonna say, yeah, you play with Brooke, you play with Ibaka.
Yeah. It's probably damn, that's crazy.
I think you play with Pope too. Yeah.
I know. See, hold on. This is a different one. Damn. It's gonna be between Anthony Davis.
Oh yes. I forgot you play with AD. Yeah.
Perk right there though, too though. Between Anthony Davis and Perk. If I got 6, all right. I got a 6-man. Perk coming off the bench is my enforcer. I got AD at the 5. I got Dirk at the 4. I got Kev at the 3. Since I have to add me, I got me at the 2. I got Steph at the 1.
That's
bro.
That's a nasty starting 5.
AD a shot blocker in his prime. He was rim protector. Then I got Perk coming there fouling. He's setting screens.
Yeah.
You get Perk like 2 touches on the block. Don't work. Get somebody kicked out the game.
Big Perk. Yes. Yes.
That's my 5 and my 6-man right there.
Man, that is a nasty starting 5. But yeah,
yeah, we gonna be good. I like that. I put my 5 and my 6-man up against anybody.
Yeah, I ain't gonna beat the starting 5. I'll say that for sure. I'll say that for sure. I promise you, I ain't beating that starting 5, not at all. So, but man, I appreciate this interview, man. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Some great stories to tell, and I'm glad I kind of clear up some rumors that I've been hearing and stuff like that. So, man, Mr. Morrow, thank you so much, man, and everybody, thank y'all so much for listening and all that. And once again, thank you for all the prayers that you have gave for my wife and I dealing with our loss of our beloved dog. So thank y'all so much. Love y'all to death. This has been another episode of Shooting the Breeze with your boy JP. And we see y'all later. Peace, y'all.
Peace, man. Appreciate you, brother.